Welcome to Political Stew. It's our closing moment. We're moving to the very last phase. But now I have to go back to that conversation which we had with KAWU BARAJE on the issue concerning the nPDP within the APC. Here it is. We now take you to Abuja, where Alhaji KAWU BARAJE joins us on the Political Stew here on Television Continent. Good to have you join us this evening, Alhaji. Tell us exactly what's going on.
Thank you very much, Suleiman. I doubt if there's any Nigerian as of today who may say he doesn't know what is going on. But for the purpose of clarity, the group that I lead in our party, APC, wrote some observations in form of letter to our dear party, the APC. That's about 3 weeks ago. And it has been in the public domain. The observations were those that concern the group that I lead. And there was some kind of observation for the purpose of ensuring that party is properly prepared for the forthcoming elections. That's all.
So in other words, it looks like it is all about the people, not about the elite who are members of your own group.
Thank you very much. That is an area where we really want to point out to the entire Nigerian public and to the entire world that this is not about an individual. It's not about Bukola Saraki. It's not about Dogara, the speaker. It's not even about the small me here, Abubakar KAWU BARAJE. But what we observe in the letter were situations that presented itself in 2014-15 in PDP before we moved away from that party. And what are those things majorly? Good governance generally, which included rule of law, impunity, oppression, the suffering of the masses, the common man on the street was not getting the dividend of democracy. These are the things we fought against in 2015 when we won 2015. And we found out these issues are still repeating themselves now. So this is why we now stood up to complain.
So where does the common man come in here? If you were to put your finger on something that has actually gone awry against the common man, what would that be?
One of the first things is the lack of respect for rule of law. Secondly, is the common man is suffering in Nigeria today as a sort of lack of employment. The average Nigerian youth is unemployed in spite of his high qualification. That's part of good governance, isn't it? Not only that, the economy of the country is not in good shape, and we seem not to be doing things about it. These are the areas that touches on the common man, and we feel concerned because if we call ourselves leaders and we are desirable leaders, we are leaders that watch ourselves. We cannot sit down and watch things happen this way and we say, oh, that's all, simply because we belong to a ruling party. I don't care. We can't do that.
You know, in all of this correspondence or correspondences you've written your party, there's been some denial way into all of that. Days ago, you denied giving the APC an ultimatum. Are you giving one now that you're backing out of these talks?
You see, what we said in that letter was that there were suggestions. But the media has the right to use their language. They use the language sanction or ultimatum. That was what, it's a question of semantics. So that was what we were, I was talking about with the media. I think you understand. So ultimatum or no ultimatum, one action deserves another. At the situation where we are now, all we are saying is that we started talking and the party invited us. We started talking and the talking started on a very good note. And we went further to the presidency. And I must say that the vice president started the meeting with us on a very, very good note. He showed empathy, he showed leadership, and he demonstrated that he really, really wants to solve the problems. Unfortunately, not the second meeting, not the third meeting, just immediately after the first meeting, the first thing we saw was a misrepresentation on the newspaper that we were asking for Saraki's case to be in the CCTV to be annulled or to be, whatever. We never talk about anybody's case, talk less of Saraki. We protested against this. And
I'm happy, Alhaji Baraje, let me comment here. I'm happy you have touched on that. At least you're live on television. Perhaps you should speak more to that so that people can get clarity on that issue. You did say that's not part of the demand.
At all. At all. It's not in the letter. Neither was it discussed at the meeting with the vice president. So I don't know where the writer of that recently went and manufactured his own book or his own write-up. But the good thing about it is that the party has come out to deny and to support us that we never asked for anything like that. You see, the misrepresentation that some people in our party or a section of people in our party wanted to present to the public, it will not work because the people know us. The average Nigerian knows where we are coming from and they know where we are going because we are closer to them, we work with them, we listen to them, we take actions that is desirable. So at this time again, we notice that and they are suffering. The masses are suffering. We also notice that there are a lot of complaints on our own desk. And as leaders, we can't keep quiet. If we can say, okay, we can bear our own, then what about the people that we lead?
You know, when you talk about the masses having a knowledge of where your group was before now, tell us, is your group still as strong and influential as it was pre-2015?
Suleiman, we are not talking of influential or being influential or not being influential. We are talking of a group that the people believe in. We are talking of a group that is closer to the people. We are talking of the group that actually has followers. And we are talking of a group that the masses trust to be in their own empathy and sympathy. So it's not the issue of being influential or it's not the issue of being whatever, but it is the activity of leaders of this group that is endearing the group to the masses.
What exactly, happened to have made you people walk out of that conversation? Perhaps there must be something that was unpalatable in the entire, cooking with the vice president.
We never walked out. We finished the meeting amicably, and we resolved we were to meet yesterday, Monday. But before Monday, you are all aware, the entire Nigeria and the entire world, indeed, is aware of what happened to our leaders. Our leaders that led us to that meeting were the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Yakubu Dogara, and my humble self here, and other leaders that were there, selected across the length and breadth of the country. And the first thing that Mr. Vice President appealed to us was to ensure that the meeting is as discreet as possible. So we kept it. The second thing he appealed to us was to open up. And we did open up to each other. The third thing that the Vice President spoke about, that we should come down to a smaller group, and we agree on a smaller group. The smaller group was to meet on Monday the 4th. Incidentally, before Monday came, the environment became sour. It became unconducive. Nobody can operate under any peace talks under that very hostile environment. where the main leaders, the leaders that led the group into that peace, were being persecuted. Already they were being persecuted right from the day one, but a fresh persecution came when the Nigerian police now tagged the leader of that group an armed robber. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Since that time, I'm talking about Monday the 4th, since that time at the Bosch meeting, there's been some development. The security, the Department of State Services has reinstated the security attached to the Speaker of the Assembly as well as the Senate President. Is that soothing for your group to go back to the conversation?
We are ready to go back, particularly if we know we are fighting for the march, which we are doing. We are ready to go back. And in the first instance, if we are not ready for peace, we will not raise that letter. Neither are we going to raise a team to discuss with the presidency. We are ready to go into peace talks, but the environment must be encouraging, must be welcoming, must not be hostile. The environment must not be hostile. That's what we are saying. So anytime the environment goes back to a desirable one, we are ready to go into the drawing table. But the earlier the better, because the party has no time if we really want to win elections.
The earlier the better. So Alhaji Baraje, if the APC calls the bluff of your group, otherwise known as the nPDP, what's next?
Yeah. If they call our bluff, then we will go back and take a decision.
You want to give us an idea of what kind of decision? Are you likely to go back to the PDP?
The BARAJE that is talking to you is just providing leadership for that group. He is not the one to take a decision. So let the APC call our bluff first. Then we will report back to people who sent us, and then they will sit down and take a decision. You see, what I want you to know, Suleiman, is that any political individual or any political group that is representing the interests of other larger group. Where the interest of that larger group is not taken care of, and then you look for where their interest will be taken care of. And if it is an individual, every individual has aspiration. If his aspiration is not going to be fulfilled in any particular place or environment or situation, he has to change base. So where he changes base is not, even himself may not know. Even the people themselves or the group themselves may not know. But they will want to know. As far as nPDP is concerned, we want to go into any group where there will be good governance for the people.
Alhaji KAWU BARAJE, I think we'd like to thank you very much for speaking with us on Political Stew here on Television Continental.